There are only so many types of pedals that we make, one of which, or a grouping of which, is called modulation. That includes the most popular chorus and phaser and flanger. Today, we have a review of a modulation pedal from AI Tone, a mini pedal with multiple modulation effects. So let's get to it. So, as you can see, the pedal is quite small, and you have a couple different options on the pedal itself. You have chorus, flange, trem, phase, vibrato, rotary, liquid, Ottawa, stutter, ring, and low bitrate, which is a little different than the other ones. You also on the top have a speed knob, a depth knob, and a control knob. I have noticed after using the pedal for a short time that the speed knob actually gives you a pretty big range of control. It goes quite faster, if you will, than some other chorus pedals. So first, we have the guitar clean on our neck pickup, which is a kind of P90 humbucker hybrid thing. And here's the tone that we have. So right away, if we turn on the pedal on the chorus setting, we have the speed at about 5 o'clock, we have the depth right down the middle, and we have the control knob all the way up at about 5 o'clock. So here's what you get. So in my opinion, it's a pretty great sounding chorus. It's a little different. It's definitely a digital type chorus. But like I said, that speed knob, you can turn it up quite far. If we turn that up all the way, here's what you get. Again, remember on the chorus setting. Incredibly fast chorus. It almost sounds like something different, like a univibe type thing. So let's turn that back down and let's go to the next setting, which is flange. Another thing that you might notice on the pedal, and something that I find quite cool, is that LED right there flashes in correspondence with the speed. And you also have the option to change it from series to parallel, which is the way that those waveforms interact with each other as far as the modulation. So we are on flange and we are on the serial mode, which we've been on so far. The next effect, which is trem or tremolo. Pretty slow. You can tell by the light speed how slow it is. I'm actually going to turn that speed up. I'm also going to turn the depth up. So it's a pretty good sounding tremolo, and it does exactly what you need it to do. So we are back. We had to change strings because the high E string broke, and so we have a fresh pair of strings on here, and back to the tremolo setting on the pedal. So next up, we have a phaser. A famous phaser user is Eddie Van Halen. You might be familiar with him. You might be familiar with the sound. So let's switch to that. you can kind of get some like psychedelic type of tones out of it too. I think that one sounds really good. Next up we have vibrato. You can get some really cool effects out of that. It's pretty intense. Let's turn the speed and the depth down, because we had those up from before. So we have the depth at about 12 and the speed at about 9. Clock, here's what you have. A lot slower. Did you know that the trem bar on any guitar that has a tremolo system, it should be called a vibrato, but it's usually called a trem, but that's not what you're doing. You're vibrato-ing your tone. Next up, we have a rotary speaker, which is a quite fun effect, not super common. Let's turn the speed back up and the depth back up so we can get a better idea of what it is doing. So the idea is basically you have a speaker on an imaginary rotary, something that's spinning around, and that's what the effect you're getting. The kind of sound volume is going up and down as if it's spinning closer to you and farther away. This one's okay. I'm not totally in love with it, but the next one is liquid, so we can check that one out. What does that mean exactly? Let's find out. So now we're getting into some more experimental type stuff. Now that we're on the right side of that dial, this one sounds really cool. And I think it's a great name for it too. It describes the sound pretty well. It sounds like water running. I mean, it's pretty messy and muddy. You could do some kind of atmospheric or experimental type stuff with it. But as far as using it for like an actual tone choice, it might be a little more difficult. Next up we have auto wah, which is like a wah-wah pedal, but it is auto. You don't have to do any stepping or moving of a pedal. Yeah, not loving that one that much. I don't even know what it's really doing. Next up, we have stut for stutter. It sounds like Morse code. That speed is not great. Let's change that, but we'll leave the depth. That's more like a stutter. Again, that one's a little different. You would probably only use it for experimental type stuff. It's almost like having a kill switch without having a kill switch. Next up we have ring mod, which is another different one. It's kind of hard to explain what a ring mod does, but it's another type of modulation where you have two waves, two sine waves, and one is oscillated, or they're both oscillated in a weird way. I can't really describe it to you, but here's what it sounds like. It almost makes it sound out of tune, even though it's not. Again, not a huge fan of that one. And last up, the final one that we have is low bit or low bit rate, so it should sound kind of like old video game music. I need to turn it on. So that one has a bit of distortion on it. It's kind of like a distortion pedal or a little bit of a gain pedal. And then you have those 3 parameters to change around and mess around with everything that I think is pretty great. So overall, I'm really impressed with this pedal from AI Tone. It's tiny, it's a mini pedal, which is really impressive, and you have all of those different options and tonal capabilities in that small package. And my favorite ones are probably the chorus, the flange, the trem was really good, the vibrato I liked a lot, the phaser was really good, and even for just those, or just one good chorus, you can spend as much as $50, $60, $80, $100 on a pedal, and this pedal is only $39.99 for all of those options. And so overall, I'm very happy with it. I would recommend it, especially if you're building maybe a mini pedal board or using only small pedals, or you don't want to take up that much space on your board. It's a good pedal. Let's go back to the chorus to end it out, and if you did enjoy this, thank you for watching. You can leave a comment down below. Remember to like or subscribe, all that good stuff. And thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. And until next time, play guitar and be awesome.
There's a freedom within, freedom without. Try to catch a delusion on paper cup. There's a battle ahead, many battles are lost. Never reach the end of the road when you're traveling with me. Hey now, don't dream it's over. Hey now, when the world comes crashing, they come to build a wall between us.
Which is a quite fun effect. Which is a quite fun effect. Not that.
I'm driving my car. There's a hole in my road.
Ring. There it goes. There it goes. Piece of shit. String. Son of a bitch, man. Son of a bitch. Well, we'll be right back.